Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Lunchtime Live with me, Sarah Burr. I'm just waiting for all of my streaming services here to come online. Last week we had some issues with Instagram, so I'm hoping that it works for us this time, which it looks like it's going to. Come on, Instagram, you can do it. There we go. Okay, perfect. And now we are live with everybody. Welcome, folks, to another Wednesday, the last Wednesday of July. I can't believe how quickly time has flown. And I just had a little mini panic attack of like, oh my gosh, I have to write my newsletter for the month. But I already did that for last week with the release of Get a Candle on Crime. So phew, that's something off of my to-do list, which I am working very, very hard to go through my to-do list because I am very close to signing off for vacation mode. I am looking forward to going up to Maine and spending some time at the lake, hanging out with family and friends, seeing people, seeing family members along the way during our drive. So I'm just very much counting down the hours until we leave at this point. I don't know about you guys, but I need a break. I need to turn off my phone. I'm actually contemplating turning off my phone for this visit because I will pretty much be with everybody whom I communicate with on a daily basis, or I will be with people whom communicate with people that I need to communicate with. And if they really need to get in touch with me, they can. Hi, Susan. Thanks for being here. Welcome. And so I am I'm kind of like up to here with just everything going on in the world. And um, this past weekend, George and we took the dogs upstate to a town that was absolutely beautiful. It was we went up there for a book fair that I had been invited to participate in, and it was a lovely little adventure. We stayed at a beautiful old hotel. It was actually celebrating its 100-year anniversary this year while we were there, which was really cool. And we had a fabulous meal at a local restaurant, and I actually used it was a blood orange martini for today's graphic. We sat at the bar. It was lovely. We had fried eggplant, and I had spaghetti carbonara. Their pasta was homemade. It was absolutely delicious. George had short rib pappardelle, and we had a lovely time. But unfortunately, and I want to bring this up for two reasons. One, because it was shocking and it reminded me that like I am living in my own cozy bubble. And very blessed to be living in a cozy bubble where I don't have to worry about things as much as some other people in our country do. Um, and it just like it really kind of ruined the weekend for me. I'm still thinking about it. But we were walking our dogs, in the early evening on a Saturday night, and ahead of us was a very large Black family. It was like, probably two sets of parents, like three, maybe even more, you know, three little kids riding on their tricycles. They were laughing, having a good time. And while we were walking down the main, one of the main roads of this town that I had spent the entire afternoon gushing, like, this is so beautiful. I would love to live here. Like, look at these beautiful shops. It reminds me of a cozy mystery village. Um, and as we were driving by, this big, like, noisy black truck drives by, and they point out the window at this beautiful family and scream obscenities at them, and give them the finger. And it was a truck filled with young white men. Um, George and I were just like, our mouths dropped open. The family turned around at us and was like, "Are they yelling at us or are they yelling at you?" Like, it was we were all just, like, completely taken aback that that happened. I don't know anybody, uh, who would scream obscenities at young children. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It made me sick to my stomach, and it was horrifying to witness and and to know that, like, this is life for people. We have become accustomed to such hate and such cruelty to others who are different from us, um, that it is unacceptable. And I know that the folks that are watching this are good humans. This is not directed at you in any shape or form. But I needed to just, like, share this with you to know that we may be in this lovely community where we take care of each other and we help each other out in times of need, but that is not the case for a lot of Americans out there. And I really, really just hope that we all continue to practice kindness when we can, and to call out, like, ridiculous, unacceptable, terrible, racist behavior when it happens. Um, so that and I'm sorry to, like, start on such a terrible note, but it was shocking to me. And I am just uh I'm I'm so upset that this is what our country is becoming. So um that it was so shocking. And I realized that I am woefully naive that that was shocking to me, because unfortunately people are experiencing that all the time, especially in the culture that has been cultivated under this current administration, and for the past 10 to 15 years at this point. So I know I don't have to say this to you guys, but just a reminder that everybody you meet is struggling. Take care of each other, be kind to strangers, be kind to your neighbors, smile at people, like, say hi when you're walking around. I'm always very bad about doing this because I don't want to bother people, and I'm also corralling my idiot dogs most of the time, who are barking their heads off at other dogs, and I'm just like, let's get out of here, like, let's go away from people. But say hi to folks, treat them kindly, and please, oh, please make sure that if you know people in your life that are not registered to vote or are thinking about sitting out these elections because they don't think that they can make a difference or that they don't have the power, please tell them that they do. Like, all we have is our votes right now, and we have to change we have to course correct of where this country is going, because it is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous is a very lame word to use. Sorry, a very we or just, like, not appropriate word for the magnitude of what's happening. So that is my little PSA for today's chat. Sorry to start on such a low note, but it really affected, like, my whole experience this weekend. I was just very disappointed with to know that that's just out there. I live in New York, but it's everywhere. This horrible hatred is everywhere, and we've got to figure out how to get rid of it, because we're all one human race. We shouldn't be treating people like this. Um, and can you imagine if something ever happened like that in one of my, like, in my cozy towns do not have this. That's the whole reason why I love writing cozy mysteries, is because I love creating communities where everybody supports each other, everybody is welcoming and open, everybody is accepting of people, no matter their race, their ethnicity, their lifestyle, their creed, their religion, their beliefs, their who they love. Like, it's just, we all should be able to live the life that we want to live. And so it just got me thinking of, like, I was walking around this beautiful town saying, "Oh, like, how I wish I could live here." And then that happened and I was like, "Nope, this is not the place that I thought it was," which is unfortunate. But yes, the book festival itself was a great learning experience. I met some absolutely lovely people uh, while I was um, while I was there. Got to talk to some new authors and folks who are local relative to where I live. It was a drive. It was about a 4.5 hour drive for us to get to this place. So it wasn't exactly a like it wasn't right across the street, but it was New York, so it was nice to meet people in the area. And I got to try out my new card reader, which was awesome. I felt like super like tech savvy, where I got like a little it's called a square reader that people could tap their credit cards on, so I could collect payment, which was great. And I figured out how that works. And that was a lovely event. The venue was beautiful. I got to set up all of my books. I got to answer questions from folks who were walking around, and it was a very good learning experience. So much so that it has prompted me to be more of Sarah. You need to look into events closer to your area so you can participate in these more, because it was a great experience. And but try it doesn't have to be a book fair. I've gotten suggestions for flea markets to try out, craft fairs, and all of that good stuff. So I'm hoping that I will be brave enough to go out into the world, because let me tell you, being the introvert that I am, sitting behind a table and trying to like pitch your book to people and sell your book was such an uncomfortable experience, even though everybody was incredibly kind. I was just like, why don't you just look at my books and see if they're up your you can ask me questions, like you can read the back if you want to, but I am so bad at like a sales pitch. Like I did not want to participate in it that way. But I did, and it was fabulous. It reminded me a little bit. I kind of had to channel my inner Malice go round. Because as folks were kind of walking by the tables, you had like a very short window to catch their attention about like, hey, like do you enjoy mysteries, like what kind of books do you like, and trying to kind of sell my books to them. The crowd itself wasn't really a cozy mystery crowd. There were a lot of fantasy people there. There were a lot of romance readers, but because they said, "Oh, like I read romance," I was like, "Oh, well, there is like a romantic element in these, as the sleuths like engage with people in the town and have their relationships and all of that good stuff." And it was cool because the area that we were in is sort of near where I went to college. I went to Elmira College. Elmira, I think, was probably at that point about maybe an hour to 2 hours away from where we were. But still, it's kind of like the upstate area. And that is sort of how where I base the Glenmire Whim Mysteries on. There is a area called the Finger Lakes, where they have these big, beautiful lakes that have a lot of wineries around them. I'm sure you guys have heard of cozy mysteries that are about the wine trails and the wineries that are upstate. um and so I kind of reimagined Crucible in my mind to be in that area, but like in a little nook in amongst the cities and towns that are up there. So it was nice to kind of be in somewhat familiar territory. When we were driving up, I was like, oh, like I recognize that, that town from something I did for school, or oh, I drove like on this road when I was driving from my home in Maine to school to Elmira. Gosh, that was such a long drive. It was so painfully long. It was probably, I think it was like 9 to 10 hours when I would go home for vacations, or during the summertime. And it was always just my dad and I. He would drive me down, and we would listen to audiobooks along the way. But I think it was junior year that I got a car, so then I was driving myself. Um, and I honestly was like, those drives like went by, and they were long. It was long, but I loved where I went to school. I had a great college experience. It was just getting there that was a little tricky. So that was my weekend, and it's hard to believe that It feels like Get a Candle on Crime has been out for, like, months at this point, but it's only been out for a week, and I'm hoping that you guys, if you've read it or are reading it, that you are enjoying it. Susan, I thank you very much for your kind words about the book. We'll probably have to have a like a book club or something about it so that I can kind of share a little bit more of the details that went into how the mystery, came to be, and how like my personal experiences wove their way into the mystery itself, because as you know, it was quite therapeutic for me, and I just had a great time. I just love Crucible so much. I love the characters there. I actually, while I was at the book fair, and had some downtime, I was sketching on my iPad, like, oh, it would be really cool if I could figure out how to make a book map of Crucible, not only from like my own reference, but possibly to share with you guys either, on online through a newsletter, or perhaps even having them in the books, you know, in the front of the books, going forward or something. Just so I don't know, there's something magical about a book map. I love seeing the world, from the author. Um, there's never going to be a book map that is better than Middle Earth, in my opinion. Like, I would love to have, in my dream home, I would love to have the map of Middle Earth as like painted on a wall. uh that would be that would be so cool. Like, in like our nerd room, we would have the map of Middle Earth on one wall. Maybe I would have a map of, oh gosh, I don't even know. There's so many good book maps out there that I adore. But Middle Earth is my favorite. Will always be my favorite, even more than my own books that I have made maps for. Um, so, uh, and I don't even know how I got. Oh, because I was drawing. I'm having fun. I have a new program on my iPad to try my hand at drawing and illustrating. A secret wish of mine is to turn the Court of Mystery series into graphic novels. I think that they would be really cool with all the manga that I read. I think it would be so cool to have like maybe even just one of those books turned into a graphic novel, where you can see the beautiful gowns that Jax and her friends are wearing, that you get to see the castles, that you get to see how dashing Perry and George look, all the fun animals that they encounter, and the plants, and just all the cool adventures that they have. But I have no idea how to do that. So I'm currently using, Adobe Fresco for just playing around with like the illustrating capabilities. I'm not the world's best artist, but I can be good if I like really put my mind to it. Um, so I'm very much just kind of playing around with that in my spare time. It's fun just to doodle. I really love drawing horses. That was like my thing as a kid, that I would just draw horses till, like, I had so many pictures of horses. And then I started drawing, like Digimon. I drew a lot of Arthur fanfic as well. I loved drawing Arthur for some reason. Uh, and then I drew a lot of Harry Potter and all of this stuff. So, I do love to draw. I just have kind of I've really lost my ability to have good penmanship over the years, because I really don't write a whole lot. But the, young woman that I was sitting next to at this book fair, she was telling me, it's like, yeah, like I like write down every day. I am writing ideas and poems and all of these amazing things. I was like, oh my gosh, like that just feels so writerly. And I absolutely loved it. So I am playing around with that in all of my free time that I have. I am working on the, next trending topic mystery. I've made it into, chapter 3 at this point. I think I'm almost at the end of chapter 3, and so we're getting kind of the background about who the victim is or was, and how they kind of fit into Central Shores, what they're doing there. And the book is going in a different direction than I initially thought that it was when I mapped it out. I kind of had these two subplots that I was kind of working with, but now I'm thinking of tabling one of them for a future story, because I think I have enough meat in this current version to push forward with the book. So I'm excited about that. I wish our weather was a little bit better for writing outside. The past couple days have been overcast and very humid, so it's not really fun to sit out on the porch. But right now the sun is out, so that is absolutely lovely. So thank you, Susan. I will need all the luck that I can get. I'll need all the luck I can get figuring out how to draw and then how to like turn those drawings into like actual panels and into a book. I'm sure there are templates and such that I can use, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of that that adventure. Um, and we finally finished The Young Sherlock. We finally watched the last episode 2 nights ago. Absolutely fabulous. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. The acting was stellar. I really loved all the cast. The cast was really great. Even like the bad guys were very like good bad guys. It was so fun. I have no idea how it fits into like the Sherlock canon, because I thought I knew what the canon was, but this show kind of messed me messed me up. I was like, wait, who are these people? Where are they coming from? Why are they the bad guys? So it was exciting. It kept me guessing, and I highly recommend it. It was great acting, great fun, and I hope they do a second season because it just was kind of like the perfect show for me to watch. And now that we're done with it, we have started a new anime that is I've been just getting a lot of emails about from all of the like anime sites that I follow. That's called Tomb Raider King. And so far we watched, I think we've only watched the first episode, but it is so similar to Solo Leveling, which is a really big anime. And it's not a manga because it's actually from South Korea, and I think they call it manhwa or something along those lines. I'm not a fully up to par on my terminology for South Korean like storytelling and manga. But I was just like so stunned about the similarities that I was seeing in both of in these two books and or shows. And I thought that was really funny because I feel like if somebody did that in like a cozy mystery, you'd be like, this person just like copied and changed things from this person's book to this person's book. But I'm sure it is only the first episode. A lot of these shows kind of do start off very similarly because they all have to kind of lay the groundwork for the viewer. So we'll see where it goes. But it was good enough that I was intrigued. So George and I are watching that for our like dinner time viewing, because we did finish watching Witch Hat Atelier, which was so adorable and so cute. If you are interested in anime at all, looking to get into anime or seeing where you could start, definitely recommend this show. It was very sweet, very cute, but fun and magical and just very very unique. I thought it was great. So I'm looking forward to more episodes of that. I can't believe that we already watched all of them already. And what else? I can't remember if I told you guys about that I saw the Odyssey and I really enjoyed it. I've watched so many interviews and videos with Tom Holland, Zendaya, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway that I'm starting to hear like their press points and what they say like over and over again. Like, this must be like what either their publicist or is telling them to say, or it's like, oh, like they said it and they're like, oh, that was a good line. Like I should be using that more. And so I was like, I got to stop watching these. But it was fun because it kind of took me away from all of the doom and gloom of the news that that tends to pop up on my feed. Hence why I'm super excited to kind of turn off my phone next week, and not really pay attention to what's going on. Um, Other things happening in my life. The plants are doing well. In fact, the less that I interact with them, the better they seem to do. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit of a step back. I'm not like watering them as much. I'm not bugging them and fussing over them as much. And they seem to be doing a lot better. I had a lot of growth on Holden over the weekend, which I was super surprised about because the seeds that I planted all seem a little bit stuck. That it said like within 8 to 10 weeks they would begin flowering, and I'm pretty sure now. I can't remember when I started this. I think I started. Well, I guess I only started in June, so perhaps we're edging our way towards 8 weeks. So maybe I'm just like really impatient, but I was expecting these plants to be bigger and more like full of flowers, but we'll see what happens. My spider plants are doing wonderfully. In fact, I'm like looking at one right now. It's like it's springing off of the shelf and like sticking into our porch like walking area, so like you get hit with the plant when you're walking because the shoots are just like popping off everywhere. So it's lovely out there on the porch, and I'm looking forward to going out there this afternoon and doing a little tinkering on Cocoa Book 6. Yikes. Um, but I will have, because I am getting ready to go on a little bit of a vacay, I'm going to be a little bit quieter on socials. Probably won't be answering emails very frequently either. Of course, I'll be kind of checking in if anything is like, you know, immediately needs my attention. But I'm really looking forward to just being like, I'll get to it when I get back, and kind of I have a to-do list of things that I want to accomplish before heading out. But I think the only thing that I have for you guys will be there'll be a couple new posts for you. I'm kind of scheduling some things ahead of time, so you won't be completely Sarah-less while I'm away. I'll be scheduling some posts on. What is it? Substack on What Spine Is Yours. I've got or the Wren has got a couple of guest authors coming up on the blog for you to check out. Including my dear friend Carol Ayer, who she does a lot of proofing and feedback beta reading for me for my books. So Carol she is such like a she can spot plot holes and issues that nobody else can. Like she is so good at figuring things out and like helping me make my mysteries as tight as possible. So definitely check her books out if you haven't had a chance to already. Um, Also, to share something super, super cool with you. And this is more of like a professional achievement on my end, not really like story achievement. But this Saturday, You Can Candle the Truth secured a BookBub deal, which is something that I personally have been trying to get since I started writing back in 2017. So almost 10 years it took me to number one have enough reviews to get on like the BookBub editors like editorial boards like radar, and for them to the reviews were high enough for them to say yes, we will share this book with our readership, which is like at this point, like the last that I checked, I think like their cozy mystery list is like 350,000 people, which is a huge audience. And so You Can't Handle the Truth is going to be on the BookBub blast for this Saturday. It's their 99-cent deal. So You Can Handle the Truth is currently 99 cents. So if you haven't bought it yet, if you haven't read it yet, or if you know somebody that's like would love this book, you can gift the book. It is at the cheapest that it will be. I'm so excited. Like this is such like a huge professional win for me, and really shows the power of your reviews. Like your reviews helped me get this, because I have been submitting these books. I've been submitting all of my books over a period of time, but I've submitted, I think after You Can't Handle the Truth was a finalist for the Silver Falchion Award and the Next Generation Indie Book Club Award. I was like, oh, like I got to submit it to BookBub, because like these are two, like especially the Silver Falchion, like that is a very like big deal in the writing community. And I was like, this is going to be like what I need, the stamp of approval that I need for them to be like, oh, this is a legitimate book that people like. We will promote it. But I didn't get it then. And so the fact I fully believe that the fact that you guys helped me get over 100 reviews on You Can't Handle the Truth is the reason why I'm able to do this, and to be able to share it with a huge audience, that will hopefully, be like, you know what, I'll take a chance on a 99-cent book, and that they'll fall in love with Hazel and Poppy. They'll read the rest of the books, and that'll help me be able to keep writing the more books for you guys. So your reviews do help. They do wonders. This is like a pure, like, this is such a good example of like, yes, reviews do actually work. And they help us with our like marketing efforts. And so really, I thank you for helping me with this. I'm probably going to ask in the future to help me kind of get Over My Dead blog and the first Court of Mystery book, the Ducal Detective. I'm going to ask for you guys, like, if you haven't left a review for them and you've read them, please do, because I want to keep like running these promotions so I can keep getting my books out there, so that I can keep writing them, because I am that's what I want to do. I want to keep writing these stories for you, and it really helps that my book sales are able to cover the cost of my website. They're able to cover the cost of my memberships for making Canva graphics so that I can market my books. It helps so much with the cost of the audiobook recording. Audiobooks are so expensive to produce on your own. I'm very blessed that Melissa Green has been such an incredible partner, um, with me, and has given me discounts in the past, but she deserves to be paid for her work. And so if I can find ways to like keep supplementing all of these endeavors, like I can keep writing for you. And that's really, 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 really what I want to do. So thank you for all the support that you guys have shown. All of your comments for the release of Get a Candle on Crime were so wonderful. A lot of them brought tears to my eyes because you guys are so kind. You are so kind to me. And I really, really appreciate it, because I I didn't grow up with a lot of like kind people outside of my family. I didn't have like a lot of friends growing up, and like all of these things. Like I'm not used to kindness in the way that the cozy mystery community has welcomed me. So I really, really, really appreciate it so deeply from the bottom of my heart, how you support me through all of this. So thank you, Susan, for your congratulations. This is just as much a win from you as it is for me, because I know that you are such a great reviewer, and I really, really appreciate it. For the folks on Instagram, I appreciate you. And I know that I'm out of my time, but one thing that I do want to announce, because I am on vacation next week, there will be no more Lunchtime Lives. And guess what, you guys? There are going to be no more Lunchtime Lives in the future, because I've made an executive decision. At first, I was like, maybe I will send out a poll, but I have an idea, and I would like to call these sessions, because I'm never eating my lunch during them. And it's often like lunchtime is it's relative for people. It might be lunchtime for me, but for folks on the West Coast, they are, mid morning. And so I'm going to call this our little sessions that we have, they're still going to be Wednesday at 1 p.m. They're still going to be here on Facebook. They're still going to be here on Instagram. We're still going to be wherever I can get connected. But we're going to call it the Cozy Catch Up, because, and I'm saying it out loud, Cozy Catch Up. Like, we're catching up with each other, not cozy ketchup as in a condiment. But I just think that our 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 chats deserve like a little bit more of our like vibe that we have. And I just think that those sound fun, and I love designing. You know me, I love designing graphics, and I was like, I want to design like new branding things, and I think the cozy ketchup is the way to go. So, um, it's a pretty big deal that this lunchtime lives have are sunsetting, but I'm still going to be here on Wednesdays. We're still going to be talking, and I'm going to be sharing crazy things from my life. I hope that you will still send me questions and comments about things that you would like to hear from me about. I know. Oh, I did have something from one person. They're like, Sarah, whose face is behind you? And so, real quickly, I'm going to move my head. I have an upside down towel hanging on my chair, and this is one of my favorite characters from one of the games I play. His name is Brant, and I saw this towel on. I don't know. It was like it was either on a it's like some like random Korean website, or it was on I did buy something on Amazon, but I think I got this from like some place. It was like called Nekoto in over in Korea. Um and so I got it, and I am realizing it's like I do not have any place for this towel. It's a towel. I thought it was going to be more of a tapestry, because I have other tapestries of all of my favorite characters hanging from my walls, and George wasn't too happy with the placement that I wanted to have for this one because it was too close to his stuff and his view, and he's like, I don't need to see that. So right now he's just hanging behind my head in all of my shots, and just randomly appearing online. But yeah, one of these days I'll show you guys an updated photo of my desk. It is covered with all of these acrylic stands from the characters of the games that I play with. And just to give you an idea, this is my favorite overall favorite character. Her name is Yelan. She is from Genshin Impact. But she is just one of like too many to count that are on my desk, looking very cluttered. But it is a organized chaos that I have. Like, they're everywhere, but they all have their place, and it all brings me joy when I look at them. So that was a question that somebody had. It's like, who is that person's face behind you? So yes, Susan, I'm glad that you approve of the cozy ketchup. And what else? What else? Be on the lookout, you guys, for an email from me. I think I'm gonna do my newsletter a little bit early this month because I am also in a fun like newsletter swap thing for a 99-cent cozy mystery like stuff your Kindle day promo with a bunch of other fabulous authors, where all of our books have animals, and they feature animals. And so be on the lookout, because all of the books in the promo will be 99 cents. And so if you've been, putting some things on your to be read list, but you're like, oh, I gotta wait until it comes down in price, this will be the time. Nicole, hello. Oh my goodness, really quickly, shout out to Nicole and her group for leading one of the most loveliest Facebook discussions I have participated in. And you guys know that I've been in a lot of them. Nicole's group, the way that she structured it was so seamless and so effortless for me. I didn't have to really prepare anything. And I know for a lot of authors, we're asked to prepare like so many posts for takeovers. But Nicole, she just asked like really great questions, both of her readers and of me, the author. And it was such a fun time. It flew by. I was like, oh my gosh, it's already over. Like, and I had such a great time chatting with all of the members. So if any of my author friends are watching, make sure that you check out Nicole's group. It and let me get the name right, Nicole, because there are so many of them. It was Cozy Mystery of the Month Club. I have So many notification. Cozy Mysteries once a month book club. It was fabulous. Can't recommend it enough. Nicole did a fabulous job hosting me, and everybody in the group was so kind. And I had a great time. So thank you, Nicole, for being here. It was wonderful experience for me. Thank you. But this is the wrap up of today's Lunchtime Live. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful weekend, that you take some time to enjoy whatever weather you like to enjoy, that you're having fun this summer, able to kind of disconnect from all of the chaos that we have going on. But we do need to make sure that we are convincing our friends and our neighbors and our family members that voting is important, that our voice matters, and that uh, people deserve to live good lives. People deserve happiness. People deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. And so we just really need to be democracy warriors. And I hope that you all are taking care of yourselves, that you're taking some time off before the whole back to school season begins, that you're reading some good books and you're getting plenty of rest and you're just taking care of yourselves. So thank you guys for being here as always. I love chatting with you, and I will see you in August when I return. But until then, take care, give yourself grace, and stay bookish, folks. Thanks for being here. Bye.